Hi, it's Annie, and I'm here today to talk about how to work mindfully with our thoughts about eating. Conflictual thoughts we have about eating. And this is something that I struggled with for many years in the past, where I would have the thought, oh, I want to eat this. Should I eat this? Shouldn't I eat this? And did I eat that? I shouldn't have eaten that, and those kind of thoughts. And today I want to talk about how I ended up working with them and what's been really helpful in my life. And really it boils down to trusting myself. Because when we're having those thoughts, we don't trust ourselves. We don't trust the parts of ourselves that are coming up and asking for things. And so we get all caught up in doubting, like, oh, I shouldn't do that, and it can apply to everything. But I'm going to focus today on this eating question because it comes up a lot. People ask me a lot about this. So let's take an example, and I'm going to just guide you through a process that you can use when you have this come up. Okay, so let's say, for example, you had this thought at 10 o'clock at night, you're lying in bed, you're not hungry, and you think, oh, I really want to get up and eat some ice cream or some chocolate or something sweet or savory or whatever it is for you, but this thought comes up. So the usual way that we've been trained to react to that is to suppress that, to say, oh, that's bad, I shouldn't do that. And in the process that I use, mindfulness and focusing, this thought, none of these thoughts are bad, and none of these thoughts need to be suppressed. But what we want to do is learn to notice them and really get to understand them, to know them and understand them. Because by knowing and understanding what's coming up for us, then we can transform. And it actually shifts the whole way we think about ourselves, and we have a much more trusting relationship with ourselves. And it's more than just understanding, really. We are trying to develop love for these parts of ourselves, regardless of what they're asking for or what they're wanting. So in this case, the thought comes up, I really want to go and get some ice cream. And right away you notice another thought come up, which is like, oh, what's wrong with me? I shouldn't do this late at night, blah, blah, blah. So at that moment, we can come back to our breathing, come back to our body. If we catch ourselves, we can come back and say, okay, so something in me wants to have ice cream right now. And something else in me is saying that's bad. And I can see that both of those parts are there. And as soon as I do that, then I'm not identified with either one of those parts anymore. I'm the one that can hold both of those parts. So I see, okay, there's a part of me that wants to have ice cream, and I know that's there. And there's another part of me that doesn't want me to do that, that says that's bad. And I know that's there too. So I settle down with that. Okay, both of those parts are there. I don't have to rush into making a decision about whether to have ice cream or not, but I just can see both of those parts are there. So that's step one, is just noticing. Pretty much always step one, isn't it, in all of my videos. Step two is to turn toward these parts and get to know and understand them, and really to love them, to learn to love them for all that they are doing. So we might turn to the one that came up first, the one that said they really wanted ice cream first. And so we turn to that one and we see it wants ice cream. And we say, okay, I hear you. I know that you want me to get some ice cream right now. So breathing in and out, I hear that you want ice cream. So that's the first thing, is just hearing it. Wants ice cream right now. Okay, I hear that. So just like you would do with a friend, you might want to understand more. What is it that you're really wanting? Are you wanting the taste of ice cream right now? Are you wanting to avoid going to sleep right now? What is it that's really making you want that ice cream right now? Here's the trick. This is the most important thing, is that we have to be able to turn toward that part and listen to that part of ourselves without any shame or blame or judgment. Any shame, blame, judgment, any kind of attack of that part means that we are identified with a different part that doesn't like that we want to get ice cream. So that's really the main piece of it. Can I turn toward that part of me with loving kindness and compassion? Okay, I hear you. You want ice cream, without any kind of judgment. and really hearing why this part wants ice cream, what it's really wanting to satisfy, hearing it out without trying to suppress it in any way. So this is the key. And then we can turn toward the other part that's saying, oh, it's bad to get up and get ice cream at 10 o'clock. You're a bad person for wanting it. What is wrong with you? Or whatever that voice is saying. We can turn toward that part next to say, okay, so you really are against me getting up and having ice cream. It's kind of like the two angel devil on either shoulder, except that they're not angel and devil. They're just two parts that are talking to us. And so we can listen to this part to say, okay, what is it about me getting up now that would be so awful? That would be so awful for me to have ice cream. What is it you're worried about if I get up and get ice cream? And maybe that's worried about not being healthy, not maybe being able to sleep after you eat it, maybe getting fatter, whatever it is for you. Just hear that out. What is it that it's worried about if I were to get up and eat that ice cream right now? And see again if you can do that without judgment, without attacking, without any kind of strong emotion around that, with a kind of acceptance. Okay, you're there and you don't want me to get ice cream. Let me hear why. So you hear out these two parts, okay? So you've heard them, you understand them. Staying in that neutral place. And what can help us to stay in the neutral place is to just practice being with our breathing while we're listening to the parts. So breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I know these two parts are here. Part wants me to get ice cream, part doesn't want me to. Breathing out, I'm here with these two parts. And when we start to practice this accepting that the parts are there, accepting that this is what's coming up for me right now without shaming or blaming or judging either of these parts, this is when we can start to make decisions that go beyond reactivity. So we can start to be more than these two reactive parts, and we can really make a clear decision. Do I want to go up and get ice cream? Maybe I do. So what? I'll get up and get ice cream. Maybe I don't. Maybe I think, you know what, actually, I do get a stomach ache if I eat dairy at night, so maybe I won't do that. So coming to this kind of centered place where we can make a decision coming from a clear mind, an open heart, without reactivity, and not coming from one of these two places of like, I must have ice cream now, or you're really bad if you want ice cream. And this is how we start to develop self-trust, because the more we can be with these parts and not be reactive, the more we can start to trust ourselves to not be acting out of old habits, old conditioning, to be able to trust that we will be present in that centered way and make good, healthy, happy, fair decisions each time a question arises. And that doesn't mean we never eat the ice cream. And it may not mean that we eat ice cream every night, but it may mean we get up and have ice cream every night. Maybe that's what we need. But we won't know until we're in that moment and listening to those parts. And we'll know that we are doing this practice when we feel a kind of love for these parts. So when we can feel love for that part that wants to get up and get ice cream at 10 o'clock at night, like, oh, yeah, you like the taste of ice cream at night. There's something that settles you at night. When we can come with that kind of attitude, we'll know we're really practicing it. And we can have that kind of attitude for every part. So the part that wants ice cream, and we can have that kind of love for the part that doesn't want ice cream. You can say, oh, that's really so sweet how you keep wanting to protect me from being hurt in any way or being unhealthy. And I can really appreciate that. That's when we know we can start to trust ourselves, when we can love whatever comes up, even if there's reactivity around it. So I hope that was helpful, and please comment below. Let me know if this was useful, if you have any thoughts or questions about it, and I appreciate you tuning in to listen. With love.